wars between NATO and Russia, and they're the number one enemy. And then all of a sudden, we have pipelines to deal with, we have Germany to deal with, Eastern Europe, we have America's empire to deal with. It gets very, very complex. And it's practically, it's based on so much deceit and dishonesty and aggression and greed that it just doesn't look like, let's have a commission look into it. Let's have a meeting. Let's have a peace commission. Settle this. I don't see that. In fact, I see more violence over there. Let's just hope that India doesn't make the nuclear weapon that's used. But both sides threaten with nuclear weapons, and that's very, very dangerous.
Well, there's a couple more things about U.S. activity in the region that we see about Paul. We pick up this next week. You can easily track U.S. naval vessels. You can't really hide carrier ships, right? And this is a tweet from AZ Military. An expeditionary detachment of U.S. Navy ships led by the Universal Amphibious Assault Ship USS Kearsarge days ago was in the Baltic Sea. It was 30 kilometers from the site of the alleged sabotage on Nord Stream 1 pipeline and 50 kilometers from Nord Stream 2. And you can see that it's obviously open source material of where this vessel was, and it was a naval warfare ship. Let's do the next one. Here's where U.S. military surveillance aircraft, one with a helicopter and one with a plane, were active over the past several days around the time of the sabotage, apparent sabotage, literally flying around the 2 points where the sabotage took place. So definitely the U.S. was there. You can't hide these things. It's all open source material. So the question is, did Washington do it? And if so, what are the implications? And we can talk about, I think, next whether Poland or Russia did it, because those are the other two, I think, top contenders. But let's listen, whenever you first mentioned this, you were really blown away by Tucker Carlson's monologue last night. So let's watch just a minute of him, I think, making a very good rundown of the implications if the U.S. did this. If we can play that audio. Here we go.
What would the effect of this? Every action has a reaction, equal and opposite. Blow up the Nord Stream pipelines? Okay, we've entered a new phase. One in which the United States is directly at war with the largest nuclear power in the world. Doesn't mean it'll go nuclear immediately, but it does suggest there could be consequences. If we actually blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, why wouldn't Russia sever undersea internet cables? What would happen if they did that? What would happen if banks in London couldn't communicate with banks in New York? Just that one piece of it, leaving aside its potential effects on our power grid. Let's say the banks couldn't communicate with each other for one day. What would the economic effect of that be? Or we would cascade downward into your house. We could have an actual collapse. We could wind up very quickly in third world conditions. Those are the stakes.
Like that old saying, Dr. Paul, sow the wind, reap the whirlwind.
Boy, that's for sure. Makes you want to not watch the news. Of course, that's what we're in the business of, is trying to look at it and analyze it and try to make some sense out of it. But it's certainly, the dangers are building, and that's, I guess, the one thing that we have to be concerned about. But the toughest part, I think, for everybody, if they're serious about this, is who's telling the truth? Who can you believe anymore? Who do you believe in, when there's a dispute over an election, like in 2016 and 2020? There's an argument over there. Oh, well, we have a process for that.
Yeah.
We have rules about recount, and we work this out. But, that system is real bad, but Texas has been known to cheat. See all along. So this is the problem. Sorry, this up. Bring this up. This up. I just who will be that we believe? Come and wait. Come and wait. Anybody because everybody has what motivates her? Motivates her. Her agenda, and most of the time it's power and money, and then the politicians just like to be important people. So you throw that mix in there, and everybody will take a little bit of money. I mean, it looks like the Biden family was involved with money, and the Clinton family was involved with money, and yet. yet they have to portray themselves as being very, very serious. Very serious. People who have a deep philosophy, and I guess I get really sick to my stomach when I hear some of our people in Washington that I know quite well saying, well, we need to go and do some diplomatic work in Taiwan because we want to spread our message of liberty and our Constitution. You know, that is just sickening, you know. No, listening to that stuff. And it's really a contest in society between you know, the truth and lying, and I guess it in periods of times it must vary because that was much more. Even though the founders recognized this, you know, that making the clear statement that if you don't have a moral people, you can't expect a free society to work, and that was a saying that people back then understood it. They might not have been angels, but the founders had a basic understanding of what that meant. But today, most people, they were just, what is he talking about? That's liar. And then we're told that the CIA actually teaches people how to lie, cheat, and steal. That's a pretty black thing too. So we go to the FBI. Why did you want Germany? I don't know what you know, but it's a challenge. Oh, that's how you come before our committee.
Good luck with that, right? Well, the other possibility is Poland. This is the University of Alabama website. And put the next one up. Dr. Paul, you'll be interested in this. The U.S. military is not the only force in the area of the pipeline damage. Just a 100 kilometers south is the Polish naval base, Polisbreg, the former German Coburg, which harbors 9 ships, and the 8th Coburg Naval Combat Engineer Battalion. Naval Combat Engineers are experts in blowing up anything that's underwater, be it mines or pipelines. So the Poles obviously are in the neighborhood, and they have the expertise of things. It's hard to believe that they would do it without at least the U.S. knowing or giving a nod. One thing that I didn't know, this is interesting, I should have known this, but you know who the U.S. ambassador to Poland is right now? The son of Zbigniew Brzezinski. That's the current U.S. ambassador. We all know about his father, who basically created Mujahideen and Al-Qaeda as a way to get back to the Soviets. The Russians, that's how much he hates him. I'm sure not everyone is like father like son, but I do wonder about the active role, we know about the very active roles in these sorts of things.
You know, there's a lot of confusion here, but the one thing that came up that seems silly to have to say that in light of the that is, mentioned these, you know, Russia claims they didn't do it.
Yeah, that's how they frame it.
They claim they didn't do it. Like that introduces a whole new notion. Oh, we hate Russia. You know, that's another reason that we have to really hate Russia. They hate Russia. I don't think that adds up. I think if you're dealing with a little bit of logic and an understanding that there's a lot of lying going on, I would think it would sort of exempt the Russians for blowing up this pipeline. You know, that doesn't make any sense.
But you know, we don't know that anything's possible. We don't know where the signs point to. We know who had motive and who had opportunity. I mean, if we're going to pretend like what Bravo, those are two things we look at. But there is an argument that, hey, Russia did deny doing it. Here are a couple of tweets that I dug up that I think make a pretty good case for why Russia wouldn't have done it. If you take a look at the next one. He makes a great point. So Russia pays billions of dollars to get Nord Stream 2 pipeline pumping gas to Europe, so it will no longer have to pay those transit fees to Ukraine and Poland. Then it blows it up so it can keep paying the transit fees of billions of dollars. Thanks, Western media, for relieving us of critical thinking skills. That's a good point. They can finally get rid of those transit fees, and now they're going to blow it up. This is the next one if we can. This is another good counter argument, I would say. Why would Russia blow up a pipeline? They could just switch off. Why would they blow something up, which is a point of leverage on the German political leadership? Why would they blow something up, which mass demonstrations in Germany are demanding is turned back on? And that's a good point. The second point that they make is particularly salient because it's a great leverage point for Russia on Germany to keep that there. Hey, we got the gas. You guys getting cold yet? We got the gas. Why don't you lift those sanctions? It doesn't make sense to completely remove that nothing when turn it off. That's one thing. They can do that. I think you have to presuppose, which they do every time the U.S. has an enemy, that enemy's crazy. Oh, that crazy Saddam Hussein, that crazy Gaddafi. So you have to assume that Russia leadership is literally insane to do this. Now, they may be evil. You may think they're evil, but they haven't demonstrated to this point that they're just flat out nuts. They've been pretty rational and pretty methodical when they come. You may not like what they tell you, I agree with it, but they have been pretty methodical. All of a sudden, out of the blue, do something totally loopy, like blow a multi-billion-dollar pipeline. It's possible, but it doesn't seem that rational. Right now, again, we're Florida, and also something huge hurricane. Of course, that means that people who didn't follow the environmentalists, that's what caused the hurricane.
but this winter could be one cold winter in many ways. It could be a temperature thing, but it doesn't have to be a temperature thing. There's going to be a problem. And in spite of the fact that we had to worry for a couple of decades about this significant total increase in the temperature, and we're going to have too much warm weather. But now they're talking about warm weather. They're probably praying for a little bit of warm weather. So that'll be an additional thing. But that'll be another excuse. It was the weather that helped cause our problem. On and on.
Our friend Larry Johnson spoke at our conference, he's a CIA analyst. He has a piece, I think you read it too. It's called What a Coincidence. And he points out, again, we talk about coincidence, the day the pipeline was blown up, Nord Stream 1 and 2, was the very day that a new pipeline opened from Norway to Poland, Poland, Sweden pipeline bringing Norwegian gas to Europe. And he'd say, well, that's, I'm sure, just a coincidence. It could be true, but the other fact is that Larry points out is that pipeline only has a 10% capacity of what Nord Stream 1 and 2 have put together. So even if that puts out of commission, this gas coming from Norway is not going to be sufficient for Europe. And really, I would say this attack on the pipeline, yeah, it messes up the Russian pipeline. Probably it'll never come back because when the seawater gets in, it corrodes that steel. It's just unusable. But what it really is war against Germany, because Germany is going to suffer deindustrialization, economic collapse. You say, well, why does Poland want to do that? Because Poland is going to say we need some reparations for World War II. Poland is not only very anti-Russian, but very anti-Germany. So it's interesting. A lot of people, including my friend Gregory, wrote something about how this is really a blow to Germany more than anyone else.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem to be common sense on the horizon, so I'm sure this problem is going to be around. But there's going to be another explosion. I'm not talking about. There's going to be an explosion with another event of some sort. And of course, Tucker brought up the subject. Well, they cut the line on the communications between our countries. That is a big deal. And, I mean, he didn't mention the number. Excuse me, he wasn't mentioning the numbers. But they're talking about trillions of dollars in a day. You can't believe how much goes back and forth. So it's pretty frightening.
Speaking of trillions of dollars, Dr. Paul, let's look at our second topic for the day. We're going kind of long-winded on this, but it's an important topic. This is Stephen Miller. He was, I think, former Trump aide. He said the Senate just passed, without even the pretense of a fight, a continuing resolution authorizing $12 billion to defend Ukraine, $3 billion to resettle Afghans, and a blank check for Biden to keep mass releasing illegal aliens. Don't worry, GOP. No, but don't worry, the GOP bravely held the line on permitting reform. So basically, what Miller is saying is that McConnell did not put up a fight on this mass spending.
I suspect that this is a good example of a theme that I follow. That is, when push comes to shove, there's bipartisanship.
Yeah, of course.
What do they call it? A must-pass bill. They put it together. And so something very, very controversial is a must-pass bill. And that would be to keep the government open. And that would be the biggest crime in the world. It might be a pretty good lesson to teach. But you know what? We've been there. They chose. They'll close the Washington Monument.
Yeah, that's what they do.
They chose the Washington Monument, and people can't go there. So that's a tragedy.
And all the employees go home for a paid vacation. Now they may have a delay, but they'll get their money eventually.
Nobody's ever suffered. The only way they try to do it is get the politician to suffer. But I think they're overly sensitive and they're easily scared and they overreact to it because most people know how I voted out there, and I never came home here in Texas and people why did you vote to keep the government open?
Yeah, exactly.
So they know that's one thing that I think the politician underestimates is that they're totally terrified that when they know they're doing something wrong, the people are going to know they did something wrong, not realizing that if they did something that really was right and they just thought politically it was wrong, that they didn't think you can get away with it, but you might explain to them what's going on. So it's I think that they're sort of mixed up on their values. Could that be possible?
No. Well, here's the thing though, Dr. Paul. So Republicans rolled over, and there were a few no votes, but they basically rolled over, at least the leadership, on sending yet another chunk of money to Ukraine. But here's an interesting poll that I dug up for the last minute. This spells trouble, I think, for Republicans going along with the spending. They found that a majority of voters support the U.S. pursuing diplomatic negotiations to end the war, even if Ukraine must make some compromises with Russia. This is of all likely voters, 57% said the U.S. needs to start figuring out how to look at this ending diplomatically. We need to start talking. And that 57% is interesting because if you look at Democrats, we put that back just for a second actually. If you look at Democrats, it's actually 62. More Democrats than Republicans want the U.S. government to start facilitating or at least encouraging some diplomacy, some negotiations, even if Ukraine ends up losing some territory. So if I were a politician, as they do, putting their finger to the wind to see which way it's blowing, I would not be betting on sending more billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Yeah, and one thing that's different here, and maybe this is encouraging, is that American people do wake up. They got sick and tired of the Vietnam War. They get tired of war and they want it to end. And they even got tired of that war in Iraq and in Afghanistan, 10, 20 years. This is not even a year yet. And people are hearing from the people. I think that is a demonstration on the fact that our economy is in worse shape than most people realize, and people are hurting. So you could probably come up with a pretty good ad of showing they're up about $67 billion.
That's all, yeah.
We could get a picture of how $67 billion was sent to the military industrial complex in Virginia, and we can show these wonderful ships here and say, and then show what our inner cities look like. Compare it. Where's the money going? What are they doing? Why are people suffering? They're homelessness. So in America, they're sleeping on the streets. This is horrible. But I don't know whether they'll follow through on that. You do hear a lot more of this, and maybe things will move along quicker. But it still means that
3,000 styles starting at just $6. That's quality made eyewear and prices to love. I buy direct.
The CEO and the theme and the First Amendment issue, and I'd be optimistic enough that us would go along with it. I'm not saying, he's bad news, we really have to, but Robo's doing such a good job.
Yeah.
You know, and we've been what, a month
Month and a half, yeah.
and we're pretty pleased. I suspect that this is a good example of a theme that I follow. That is, when push comes to shove, there's bipartisanship.
Yeah, of course.
So this was, what do they call it? A must-pass bill. They put it together. And so something very, very controversial is a must-pass bill. And that would be to keep the government open. That would be the biggest crime in the world. It might be a pretty good lesson to teach. But you know what? We've been there. We've been there. They chose. They'll close the Washington Monument.
Yeah, that's what they do.
You know, close the Washington Monument. And people can't go there. That's a
And all the employees go home for a paid vacation. Now, they may have a delay, but they'll get their money.
Nobody's ever suffered. The only way they kind of do it is get the politicians to suffer. But I think they're overly sensitive and they are easily scared and they overreact to it because most people know how I voted up there. And I never came home here in Texas and people why did you vote to keep the government open?
Yeah, exactly.
So, they know that. That's one thing that I think the politician underestimates is that they're totally terrified that when they know they're doing something wrong, the people are going to know they did something wrong, not realizing that if they did something that really was right and they just thought politically it was wrong, that they didn't think that you can not get away with it, but you might explain to them, what's going on. So it's I think they're sort of mixed up on their values. Could that be possible?
No. Here's the thing about the poll. So Republicans rolled over. There were a few of them. They basically rolled over at least the leadership by sending yet another chunk of money to Ukraine. But here's an interesting poll that I dug up for the last minute. The DeQuincy Institute put out. If we can put this up, this spells trouble, I think, for Republicans going along with the spending. They found that a majority of voters support the U.S. pursuing diplomatic negotiations to end the war, even if Ukraine must make some compromises with Russia. This is of all likely voters, 57% said the U.S. needs to start figuring out how to look at this ending diplomatically. We need to start talking. And that 57% is interesting because if you look at Democrats, we put that back just for a second actually. If you look at Democrats, it's actually 62. More Democrats than Republicans want the U.S. government to start facilitating or at least encouraging some diplomacy, some negotiations, even if Ukraine ends up losing some territory. So if I were a politician, as they do, putting their fingers in the wind to see which way it's blowing, I would not be betting on sending more billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Yeah, and one thing that's different here, maybe it's encouraging, is that American people do wake up. They got sick and tired of the Vietnam War. They get tired of the war and they want it to end. And they even got tired of that war in Iraq and in Afghanistan, 10, 20 years. This is not even a year yet. And people are hearing from people. I think that is a demonstration on the fact that our economy is in worse shape than most people realize, and people are hurting. So you could probably come up with a pretty good ad of showing the about $67 billion. We could get a picture of how $67 billion was sent to the military industrial complex in Virginia, and we can show these wonderful ships here and say, and then show what our inner cities look like. And compare it. Where's the money going? Or what are they doing? Why are people suffering? They're homelessness. So in America, they're sleeping on the streets. Horrible. I don't know whether they'll do. I think there's a lot more of this, and maybe things will be a lot bigger. It still means that people talk about the election. I think it would be hard to argue that this election is totally irrelevant, and most of the time I'm close to that. Some issues I'm still close to that because, like this vote, is we think people are waking up, but here they do. They go out of their way to make sure we send another $1 billion or $2 billion to Ukraine.
I think you make a great point about the politics of this. I mean, I think there's an open door.